So hello everybody, it's Sarah Wells Rowland and I'm over here at Francis Farms Apple Barn and we are in the process of rebuilding a lot of equipment towards the future of the next Village Potters Clay Center location. We don't know where that's going to be yet, but we're going to make it happen. So let me show you a little bit what's going on. So here is Julia Mann, Karen Dubois, and Katie Messersmith, and they have been dismantling the motors to all the wheels that were under 24.5 feet to 26 feet of water, somewhere in that range. And they're taking them apart. What are you doing, Katie?
Reassembling after they've been cleaned and new bearings put on them.
And so she is putting motors together. You can see that a lot of the tabletops are off. Surprisingly enough, look at that baby cleaned up. So if the pedals work and the motors work, we may get some of these things back in operation. You can see here's the process of the disassembling of all the motors. And then these amazing women here are putting them back together. And there's Kira Pruitt. She's working. We've had volunteers here every day for, what, you guys?
3 weeks.
3 weeks, Julia said. Is that not astounding?
Cleaning and then
Oh, I thought you said something else.
taking it apart. So not just cleaning, but
Yeah.
taking it apart.
There was a lot of pressure washing that went on for weeks, and now everything's clean. Here's some beautiful folks that are volunteering that are helping. Hey, there's Chris and my husband George, and I don't know what they're working on. What are you guys doing?
We're taking brushes out of this motor, taking this Brent
Motor apart?
D apart.
Yeah. Well, so we've got women over here reassembling motors. We've got men over here taking motors apart. It's really looking pretty amazing. I'm encouraged. We have to find a facility, and we will. We just haven't found it yet. But you can see all the things that are, everything is totally washed now. Look at the pots. So I have to thank Katie Messersmith. She is the one that dredged through the mud, and she and her husband-to-be, Ian, they were actually going to get married the weekend that they were dredging through the mud. So that didn't happen. They're going to get married in the spring instead, and we're excited for them. So they just took all the pots out of the mud that they could find. Look how many of my pots. This is just my pots. All there, and there's a table full of them too. And then over here is more pots. More pots. Here's some of my collector items. There's my bandana pottery. There's my Barbara Knutson. Here's my little sculpture that Bernie Siegel did that brings me so much joy. And that face is kind of appropriate for what we've been going through, wouldn't you say? I think so. Anyway, more pots back here. Look at this. It's pretty astounding. So I want to thank everybody for all the support. Over here, George's tools have been washed and cleaned up. They have worked so hard. I just don't have any words for it. Tons of volunteers, people who just love the Village Potters and love to help communities in crisis. It's amazing. This rolling kiln that George designed and built with our dear friend Todd Kreisman, golly, I hope I get to be his neighbor at the next place. So look, the door's gone, but they'll just rebuild it. I'm so impressed with how this is going to be fired again. Oh my gosh. So there's just so much stuff here. There is slab rollers. Here's my toolbox. So I don't know who did it, but somebody cleaned every single one of my tools. I have my tools. I can't tell you how much that means to me. I could cry about my tools. I might. I haven't cried a lot about this situation, to tell you the truth. It's too shocking for tears for the way I'm wired up. But every once in a while I feel it. Look at all these pots. It's crazy. Look at all the carts. I mean, we were a large operation. Those of y'all that are seeing this for the first time, we had 14,000 square feet, and we had 4 showrooms of gallery. We had a community classroom with 10 wheels where we had about 100 students come through a week that studied there. Look at all those bowls. My gosh. Oh my gosh, look at this piece. I've never put this piece up for sale because it was in Ceramics Monthly once, and so I just have hung on to it because that was such an honor. Look at it. There it is in all its splendor. How is it possible that this stuff survived a river barreling through the facility at 24.5 to 26 feet? I have no idea. I just say it's a miracle. That's all I have to say about that. Here's posts that have been cleaned up and salvaged, splash pans. You know, we've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff, but we've also salvaged hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. And you guys, the real estate is the biggest obstacle, because when you rent in the floodplain, rent is about $7 a square foot. So I don't know, we paid something like $96,000 a year, maybe $98,000 for our facility. Most things that are comparable that are out of the floodplain are more like $300,000 a year. So this business model will not sustain that. It just can't do it. It never made money like that. So clearly we can't pay money like that. But we're going to figure it out. And I don't know how, if we're going to buy land and build something on it. I don't know yet. We're figuring it out. We're going to try to work with the city to come up with a solution. We're going to try to work with people that could help us raise funds. But what I really envision is not only a location for the Village Potters, but other businesses as well, our neighbors, that we all go together and that we're one destination for arts education. We call it the Phoenix Project, and we really want to see it happen. We're not super sure how we're going to make it happen, but we are going to leave no stone unturned. And you know what? People do things bigger than themselves all the time, and we're going to do something that's bigger than who we are, because we are a collective of people that love one another and believe together. And when you start putting your hearts together and your minds together, almost anything's possible. And then we have a huge support of our community. And that just encourages me and our team so much. And then the fundraising is going so well. We've almost reached half of our goal. I'm telling you, if we reach that goal, and I believe we will, getting into a new facility becomes very viable. In the meantime, the clay company is operating. We are providing clay for potters in the community. It's complicated, but we're doing it. And we're going to continue to do it. So the first thing I'm looking for is a warm warehouse space to store clay while people are coming to pick it up, because there is no other deal in town until high water comes back. And boy, I hope they come back, because we all love them so much. So we'll just see. But in the meantime, it falls to us, so we're trying to meet that need. And we're going to make it happen. And we're doing it. The first delivery is next week, when people are going to come and pick up their clay. So if you want clay, if you're in the region, just reach out to us, info@thevillagepotters.com, and we will get back to you and get your order. We we sell Laguna clay. We love their clays. And we're going to figure that one out too, so that we have a facility to get that going right away, because everybody needs clay. You can't get back to work if you don't have your medium. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Check it out. There's a whole lot to see. Thank you, Chuck and Vicki Francis, for letting us use their apple barn. Their generous heart at no charge. We've known them since our kids were small. And so we've just turned it into a storage and work facility. Look at them working. So that's out of my depth, putting together motors. I suppose I could learn to do it, but I think what I'm going to do is try to come up and find a new facility for the Village Potters Clay Center. If anybody has any leads, any way that they can help us with this finding of a new building, I welcome it. Email me. Email us, info@thevillagepotters.com. I will get back with you. We need a minimum of 14,000 square feet. I would love to have 30 to 50,000 square feet so that we can all go together. We shall see what we shall see. I know God is good because we're standing here with wonderful people helping us all the time, and things are happening. So, I don't know how they're doing this, but I trust them. And there's Happy Karen. Look at this. I don't even know how big this apple barn is. This is just one section of it. We have stuff in other sections too, but it's a lot of stuff. We did not open a pottery center and have all this stuff. We acquired all this stuff over the 13 years that we were in business. And we just took whatever money the company made and we bought more stuff to expand what we could do to teach pottery, to make pottery, to raise up the next generation of professional potters. And we believe we're going to do it again. We believe it 100%. So thank you so much for tuning in. Mwah. If you click the link here, you'll see a GoFundMe. If you want to help us in any way financially, we thank you so much for that. Wow, we're so impressed and amazed with the outpouring of love and support for us. So thank you guys so much, and I will tune in again soon and give another update. Mwah. Love you all.